Hi friends and welcome to this channel. Today I'm super excited to take you through each step of the hiring process that allowed me to get my first job as a product designer. Ultimately, I will share with you some tips on how to get ready for an interview, and I will share my experience so that hopefully you can avoid making the same mistakes. Ciao, I'm Sara and I'm a self-taught product designer from Italy working at a tech company called Crunch in Brighton, UK. I wanted to make this video because I want to show you that you don't necessarily need a degree or a certificate in UX or product design. All you need is passion, discipline, and of course a design mindset. That's it, I promise you. I'm a self-taught product designer, which means I didn't graduate in product or I didn't attend any bootcamp. I just learned everything by myself. But before then, I've been a graphic designer for about 5 years, and not long ago I decided to shift to product after attending a meetup called Ladies That UX here in Brighton. As you watch this video, do let me know in the comments what are your challenges when applying for a product design role, and I'll make sure to get back to you. By the way, if you like this video and would like to see more from me, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell button so you get notified whenever I publish new ones. So let's dive deep into step 1, which is why you want to become a product designer in the first place. If you're a newbie or you don't have much experience in this field, you might not even know whether product design is right or not for you. So the first step is to learn the principles of user experience and become familiar with terminologies such as prototype, wireframe, empathy mapping, user flows, and so on. My favorite website for learning product design is Medium, but there are tons of other websites where you can basically learn everything for free. So once you gain some knowledge, you're ready to put your learnings into practice. So the next step will be to pick up a design tool at your choice. The most important thing to remember is that your brain, pen and paper are the ultimate design tool. So first learn how to use them and then you can pick up a digital tool. So I started with Figma because it's free and there are hundreds of templates and assets that I use as a starting point for my projects. I also recommend joining a local community as they can lead you to product design mentors, job opportunities, and much more. So the one I joined were the Ladies That UX, the New Xers, and the Code Bar. Meetups are awesome for connecting with peers who can help review your work and staying up to date with the product design industry. But if you can't meet people in person, you can always reach them out on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and so on. When you become familiar with the theory and you join a few design communities, you can finally start creating your work. They can be either freelance projects or fake redesigns. Some designers criticize this and do not recommend making fake creations, but if it's the only option you have, that's totally fine. So the second step is to start creating your product design portfolio. My first portfolio was a static PDF that I created in InDesign and included a couple of case studies and a few visual projects. I made a video that you should check out after this one about 5 steps to create a killer design portfolio. By the way, everything I've mentioned in this video is linked in the description below, so you can check it out after this one or save it for later. Along with the portfolio, don't forget to create a resume. So the resume should be minimal, easy to read, and no more than 1 page, presented as a PDF format. The first step is super important, and it's also the one that most people ignore. So you have to learn literally everything about the company and your future role. I know it might sound like a bit of waste of time, especially when you're applying for 5 to 10 jobs at once, but this is super important if you want to get your dream job. In my case, I didn't have to learn much about Crunch as I was already using their accountancy service and software as a sole trader. I also attended a few of their meetups for the self-employed here in Brighton, and I had a few interesting chats with the marketing team even before I knew there was a job opportunity. I think It's super important that you like the service or product and what the company stands for. Otherwise, you will end up losing passion very quickly and change job whenever the next opportunity comes along. The fourth step is to send your application. The most common websites to apply online are LinkedIn, Indeed, the company websites, but I've seen people sending applications on Instagram, Dribbble, Behance, Twitter. So what I'm saying is that there are many ways you can reach out to a company, so don't exclude any of those. And often the less formal approach is also the most effective. For example, I heard about my current job by talking to someone who was working at Crunch at a local meetup. So I sent this person my application form, writing a short paragraph about myself and why I'm the best candidate for this role. And I also included my cover letter, my resume, and my portfolio. So remember that recruiters go through hundreds of applications every day, so it is important that you keep it short and precise so that they can remember you. The fifth step is the phone interview. In my case, the hiring manager set up a casual phone call. During the call, we chatted about the company, the role, my experience, what I was looking for in my next role. Because I didn't have much experience in product, I wanted to show that I was passionate and eager to learn if they gave me the opportunity. So I think it's important to be honest and don't be afraid to say that you're not an expert, not yet. At the end of the call, he said that they wanted to move forward with my application, and the next step would have been a face-to-face interview. If you get past the phone interview, great, but don't get too excited because you're still competing with others. So stay positive because this is your opportunity to show them your real value. The sixth step, guess what, is the interview with your hiring manager. If you're watching this video in 2020, you probably won't have a face-to-face interview, but if you're watching this video in the future, at the moment, we are facing a worldwide pandemic and everything is happening online. Anyway, whether your interview is happening in person or over a Zoom call, you need to be prepared at answering any question that the interviewer has and showcase your work with confidence. Before the interview, I took time to think about why I wanted this job so badly and what I was hoping to achieve that I couldn't do in my past roles. And during the interview, I asked a lot of questions about the company, the role, and I met the design team for the first time, which was super exciting. I know it looks scary at first. I've been on the other side of the table, so I want to share with you 3 useful tips for your next job interview. Tip number 1 is to show curiosity and interest for the company, also excitement for the job opportunity. So you can ask several questions and you can dive deep into the job description and the company mission. Tip number 2 is to articulate what you're looking for in your next roles and the skills that you want to develop and can also benefit the company. Tip number 3 is to tell the story of your work, sharing the context, your journey through the process. You basically want everybody in the room to get excited about your work. If the interview was successful, the next step will be the take-home product design assignment. I think this is the hardest part of the whole process, but many employers require it for product design roles, especially if they're hiring a junior. The purpose is to see how you think and verify your skill sets as a designer. They want to answer questions such as, are you a creative thinker? Do you articulate your ideas? How do you work with constraints? The take-home assignment is the final chance you have to show that you really want the job, so don't underestimate its importance. The brief of my take-home assignment was to improve the web chat feature of their website. They also gave me some tips and no time constraints, but I decided that something between 6 to 8 hours was a good amount of time to spend on this project. More than that would have made it seem like I didn't know what I was doing, and less looks like I didn't take it too seriously. One good advice is to have fun, enjoy the process, and present your work with confidence. Nobody is gonna judge you. I'm planning to do a whole video about my take-home product design assignment, so stay tuned for that. I'm gonna go into more details about my process, so keep an eye out for it. And finally, if the company decides that you're the best candidate for the role, they're gonna call you back and let you know the exciting news. But if I found someone that is more suitable for the role, it's not the end of the world. So here are 3 things you should never do if you don't get the job. The number 1 is to take it personally. Sure, you're gonna be upset and you might think that they hate you, but that's not true. They've actually found someone that matches the specifications better. The second one is to refuse to change. If you thought the interview went well and you were amazing, but you didn't get the job, maybe there is actually something that has to be changed. The third one is to stop reaching out. Don't let any negative experiences to doubt about your design skills. You're not a bad designer, and eventually you're gonna get what you want. And that's all from me. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions about how to apply for a product design role, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, then subscribe, hit the bell button so you get notified whenever new ones comes in. That's all from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!